Hello, my name is Matthew Hassan, and this is my co-host.
Mark Overmar.
We will be talking about the English Revolution, which was between King Charles I, who headed the Royalists, and Oliver Cromwell in the revolutionary parliaments. King Charles was not a fan of Parliament because they had a say in all the final decisions. This also had a theocratic element to it, as he had married a Catholic princess named Mary Antoinette, and she influenced many of his decisions. The Parliament wanted to remain a Protestant state. Speaking now is Mark Overmeyer.
Hello. As a brief summary of what my partner just said, Charles I did not want to work with the Parliament because the Parliament has the final say in such matters as law. Charles I could propose new laws, but the Parliament could either reject it or accept it. Charles I didn't want a Parliament because he pretty much wanted absolute power. He wanted to make decisions on his own. The English Civil War, which was lost by King Charles I, was Charles versus Parliament, led by Oliver Cromwell. Charles tried raising taxes without discussing it with the Parliament. As said earlier, King Charles I married a Catholic princess who influenced his decisions and was against the Protestant Church and wanted most of his decisions to be about the Catholic Church. This eventually led to war and eventually led to trial against King Charles, and that he was beheaded.
Hello, my name is Matthew Hassan with Mark Overmeyer, and we are still talking about the English Revolution. This was headed against King Charles by Oliver Cromwell in the Parliament because he gave too much power to his wife, the Queen, and they did not like this, so they decided to revolt.
Oliver Cromwell occupies a unique place in English history. Cromwell ruled the UK with more or less the same power as a monarch, but as he was the Lord Protector of the Commonwealth, he had no crown. However, in the beginning, he was just a member of the Parliament for Cambridge. From a fairly humble background, but with a strong Puritan faith and a desire to ensure that the country was ruled justly, Cromwell was able to rise to his unique position of power because he was a man of many skills. He was a skilled politician with a strong personal lower base. He had the foresight, determination, and strength of will that carried the parliamentarian cause through the crucial trial and execution of King Charles I and its messy political aftermath. Oliver was also a very talented military leader. In fact, he had a good political career. In a short space of time after joining the army in 1642, he was put in charge of the horse of the cavalry of the parliamentary army, which contributed to the parliamentary success in the first period of the Civil War in 1642 to 1646. Then, later on, he helped create the new model army, a centralized fighting force which won Parliament victory in the Battle of Naseby in 1645. By the final phase of the Civil War in 1650, Cromwell had become the Lord General of the Parliamentarian Army. He disbanded from the Parliament in 1653 when he realized he could not work with many of the parliamentarian people. He also replaced a monarchical regime with a puritanical republic. Lastly, he ended up dying of malaria.
Thank you. This has been an English Revolution informational video with Matthew Hassan and
Mark Overmeyer.
Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Also, during the English Revolution, the writers that we learned about earlier in the year, Hobbes and Locke, started writing about how they wanted their own government to be. Hobbes, the first one, wanted his own central government to be led by a single ruler, as a monarchy. However, Locke wanted a parliament, as he wanted multiple people to rule over the people. On June 7th, 1628, Parliament came out with a treaty called the Petition of Rights, which ended up saying that the king could no longer tax the people to gain money for himself. Also, during the summer of 1641, Parliament was granted the Transitional Act, which summoned them to power and had them control over England as Charles was beheaded and was left dead.